let's start things off with the Patriots and Greg Bedard. And Greg, they did it again. It's the same game we've seen over and over again. Played just well enough to lose. And
Yep.
I know you wrote about this over at Boston Sports Journal. A litany of reasons why the Patriots came up short against the Dallas Cowboys. Doesn't feel any better today. Again, I think what it's going to come down to is just, as you wrote about, keep using the same formula over and over again. It's not working. I don't know how many times they're going to keep doing it, and so damn conservative. And we've talked about different things on this pod before. Never going for it on fourth down. What you're, letting Mac Jones kind of be himself, and they're just, no matter what happens, they keep reverting back to the same old thing, and now it's cost them multiple games.
Yeah, John. I mean, I just think that, look, there are people, probably a lot of younger Patriots fans who take sort of a helicopter view of what's gone on, and they could say, "Oh, well, a couple more plays here, less of a fumble here. They're like 5-1 or 4-2." Like you're missing you're missing the real picture. You're looking at the big picture. The real picture is that what has gone on so far this season has gone on since the end of 2019. It's almost 2 full seasons of the same stuff where they can't make enough winning plays, especially on defense, to win games. They're not winning games. And Bill Belichick is playing the games like he did for 20 years. Same thing. Well, we're just going to play it close to the vest. As long as we're within a score in the fourth quarter, that's where we want the game. Okay. That's fine. And that's what they've done. Mission accomplished. But that was a winning formula when you had Tom Brady. It was a winning formula when you had people who made plays in the front seven and got you off the field once in a blue moon and the other team wasn't rolling up 600 yards like the Cowboys did last night. And I don't want to hear about the points that the Cowboys, how many points the Cowboys had. Anybody who watched that game know the Cowboys, if they didn't shoot themselves in the foot like
Dominated.
80 billion times, would have put a 50 burger up on the board. And you would have been blown out of your own building. Except the Cowboys were the Cowboys. But the formula has to change, John. Like they just we all knew coming into this season that the offense was going to take some time.
Right.
You have a rookie quarterback. He's a rookie. All right. There are going to be issues. There are going to be high passes that go off of people's hands and go for pick sixes. There are things like that are going to happen. All rookie. Look around the league. Name me a rookie quarterback who's played well. Name me one from last year who played well. Other than you could say, oh, they moved the ball, they put up points. Yeah, maybe the guy who had their legs to rely on, but Mac Jones is different. He's a pocket quarterback. What the offense has been so far, a bit disjointed. Sure, the offensive line has been a huge disappointment. We weren't prepared for that. And that's a whole separate topic. But
Right.
what we've seen on offense so far is basically what we thought we were going to get. They're through 6 games. It's slowly coming along. You see bits and pieces here. Hunter Henry here, Kendrick Bourne there, Damian Harris here and there, where, all right, things are starting to happen. But the biggest part of this equation, John, is we knew the defense had to play well. They were going to have to win games for this team because of the offense in the early going to keep them above water. The reason that they are 2 games below water and fighting for their lives right now is because the defense has failed repeatedly to get the stop that they needed to win games. That's the reason. That's the bottom line.
Sure. And again, you can point to probably 100 different things that were just, how do you let that happen? 3rd and
Right.
25 being obviously a huge one there, where you give up 24 yards on that and allow a field goal. But just everything being conservative, the refusal to go for it on 4th down over and over and over again, continuing to punt the ball back to the one of the best offensive teams in football.
Yep.
When every single time you do that, it results in points. At a certain time, at what point are you going to stop doing things your way and start doing things based on the results that you're seeing with the way that you're doing it? And it hasn't changed at all. And I don't know if it will. I mean, you've covered Bill Belichick for how many years? Do you see him changing his approach and saying, you know what, I've been flat out wrong in how I've been coaching this team for 6 games?
I could see him getting a little bit more aggressive in spots. I mean, look, the halftime 3 kneel downs with 90 seconds left. then why the hell did you take a timeout before the 2-minute warning? If you did get the
If that
ball
was your
back, you weren't going to
intention.
do anything with it.
Yeah.
What was the point of taking the timeout? We've seen this increasingly over the past couple of years where Belichick makes these decisions that don't make sense, not only in hindsight, but in real time because of the conflicting decisions that he's making. And I thought the biggest error, and knowing Bill, he probably was kicking himself after the game and this morning, was the 4th and 3 in overtime.
Yeah.
This was a where, you have to read the game. We all know he's the best at reading the game. The Pete Carroll and the Super
There's
Bowl,
no way
he's
Dallas wasn't
panicking.
getting at least 3 there.
Well, not only that, John, but I think an even bigger factor, and it contributes to what you're talking about, is he had to know his defense had been on the
Was
field for like
gassed.
70. They were gassed. He had to know. He should have known it, and I'm sure he's kicking himself. Nobody's perfect. We understand. Everybody makes mistakes, but this was an egregious mistake where he should have read the room, and he should have looked at his defense, and he should have looked what happened at the end of regulation, where Matthew Judon's basically dragging himself off the field. There was no way they were going to stop the Cowboys if they punted there, and it was 4th and manageable. He should have said, like, and it was similar almost to the Tampa Bay decision, like, to kick the 56-yard field goal. And,
even if it goes in, you're giving the ball to the other team and you expect them to march down the field and get 3 on you.
Tom Brady was going to march down the field and still win the game, even if you make that kick.
Yeah.
And so you go for it there. If you win, fine. Punting the ball, like, what's that going to do to Dallas? Like, they still got whatever they wanted to. So Bill and these decisions, they just keep stacking up. And he's got to check himself. He's got to chuck the old playbook. I don't think there's anybody in there interior wise that's going to be like, Bill, Ernie's not there. And to be like, Bill, look, we're limited on offense. We can't stop anybody when needed on defense. You're going to have to go for these wins earlier. You can't play it down to the wire, because how many times are you going to see that this team is not up to the task?
Right. Yeah. And so here we are, 2-4. And again, you're always forced to look at the moral victory and look at the positive. So I guess I'll serve it up for you. What did you take from this that you've viewed as encouraging, in the sense that more of this could change the season, or more of this could result in more victories?
Well, I think overall, and I haven't gone back and watched the film, but on first blush, I thought Mac Jones played outstanding in this game. I mean, they don't go deep enough. He went deep plenty of times in this game, early and often. I mean, for them, considering that you don't know what kind of pass protection you're going to get, and that he was almost decapitated twice by Randy Gregory because of crappy offensive tackle play. I mean, considering all that went on in that game, I thought Mac Jones played really well. And I think that's Mac is always the quarterback. And it's just like when Tom Brady was here, John. And I've been consistent on this. I was consistent with this with Brady. When the passing offense wasn't working, it wasn't producing, it wasn't the quarterback, it was what's around him. Pocket quarterbacks are a product of what's around them. They have to have good pass protection. They have to have good route running. People have to make good decisions, and the receivers have to catch the ball. When all that is on point, and now Mac Jones, great. And I would say the percentage of those being on point are increasing every week, which is what we thought we were going to say. I thought it would be till the second half of the season when they really clicked. We're in week 6. We're getting there. It's getting there. Again, the defense had to win them games, and it's not.
Yeah. And it's not. So I guess that's
Harris did well too, but the Cowboys can't defend a run. They stink against the run. So it was great. He had 100 yards on 18 carries, and he did have some really good runs. I love Damian Harris, and he runs with power. I love him. Great running back when he's healthy and 100%. But you can't say much because Dallas is not good against the run. They give up the run against everybody.